If you've been shopping for a mattress online, odds are you've seen at least 1 or 2 ads from the brand Nectar. Their all-foam mattress is ultra popular, but what about the hybrid version? We're gonna talk about that in today's video. Hey, how's it going? This is Owen, I'm a CNET, and we have our solo review of the Nectar hybrid mattress. Now, a lot of these brands are introducing hybrid versions of their all-foam beds because they're figuring out that a lot of people out there, including myself, really like having a bed with coils because they provide a bit more long-term support and durability, and they can also add some extra bounce to a mattress, which some people also like. We're gonna talk about everything you need to know about the Nectar hybrid, including its construction and feel. They didn't just swap the coils out for the foam. There are some more subtle differences in its construction in comparison to the all-foam version. We're gonna talk about its firmness profile. We're gonna talk about edge support and motion isolation, other things for couples. We're gonna talk about pricing and discounts, and we're gonna figure out who this bed might actually be good for. If that sounds good and you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And as always, there'll be a lot of information down below in the description to help you out with your online mattress search, including full written reviews of the original Nectar, Nectar Hybrid, even the Nectar Premier, maybe some best lists, and most importantly, discounts. So be sure to take a look. Let's start the video off by covering the policy information for the Nectar Hybrid mattress. This is stuff like shipping, returns, trial periods, and warranties. Now, Nectar did send us out this bed for free so we could test it out and tell you all about it. But if you decide to go in for yourself, you start with free bed-in-a-box shipping. 99% of beds these days are shipped in a box because it's just quicker and more convenient. The only downside is you have to do the unboxing process yourself. Fortunately though, it's really not all that hard to do. We've done it literally hundreds of times over here, and it's still kind of fun to, rip off all that plastic and watch the mattress inflate. Now, we do recommend having someone there to help you because the beds can get kind of heavy and unwieldy, especially if you're getting a king or a queen size. So try and have someone there to help you out. Makes the process go a lot more smoothly. Now, one thing you get with the Nectar Hybrid that's kind of a pro over the original Nectar is that the off-gassing process is significantly shorter. So pretty much anytime you unbox a mattress, it takes a little while to fully inflate and firm up. And with a bed like the original Nectar that's comprised entirely of foam layers and uses a lot of memory foam, that can take up to 2 to 3 days. In our experience, it's closer to 2 than 3, but with the Nectar Hybrid, because it uses coils, it gets into its intended shape much more quickly, and it probably should be ready to go night 1. If it's a little soft night 1, don't worry about it. It should firm up and you're not gonna hurt the mattress at all by sleeping on it right out of the box. It just might not be ideally comfortable. Now, once the mattress arrives at your door, not when you start sleeping on it, that is a pretty important thing to know, because if you leave the mattress in the box for a while, that does actually eat into your trial period. But fortunately for you, Nectar offers an entire year trial period, so 365 nights. So even if you leave it in the box for like 2 or 3 weeks, shouldn't really impact you all that much. So you get an entire year to sleep on the bed at home to determine if you like it and you want to keep it. If at any point within that trial period, except in the first month, they ask you to at least sleep on the bed for a full month to really try it out and let your body have a chance to adjust to it. But you decide 6 months in, 8 months in, 10 months in, this bed's not really for you, you can return it and get a full refund at no extra cost. This is one of the main reasons people feel comfortable buying a mattress online, is because most of the time you are backed by some sort of trial period. The minimum you should expect is kind of 100 nights, which in my opinion is more than enough time. A full year is kind of overkill, but hey, more time is always good. And if you decide to keep the bed, which you probably will, you're watching an online mattress review, you're doing a lot of research, good for you. This bed is backed by a forever warranty. Now, most of the time when a brand says forever warranty or lifetime warranty or some language like that, most of the time you get full protection the first 10 years, and then after that, the protection kind of wanes off a little bit. So make sure you look down below in the description for warranty info. The warranties for these beds are actually pretty quick to read, and you might be interested in that. So that's all the policy stuff. Nectar is a bit more generous with their trial period and their warranty than some other brands. But let's get into the more interesting stuff now, like what this mattress is actually made of and what it's gonna feel like for you to sleep on. So construction-wise, starting from the bottom, you have a very thin layer of base support foam. This really isn't all that important. It's just so the 8-inch thick layer of individually wrapped pocketed coils have a place to sit on and be stable. There's a good chance you've heard of the term pocketed coils before. They are legitimately different than traditional inner springs. In the past, inner springs were more of one big interconnected unit, so if you push down on one side of the mattress, you would feel it on the other side. With pocketed coils though, they're not really like that at all, and they're just kind of lightly woven together, so they do a much better job at isolating motion while still providing you virtually the same level of bounce and support as inner springs used to do. Some brands will sometimes use the term inner spring and pocketed coils almost interchangeably, mostly because the old school way of designing inner springs doesn't really exist anymore. So right above these coils on the Nectar Hybrid, you have what they call their dynamic transition layer. It is a very common practice for mattress brands to have some kind of transition layer that goes right above the main support layer, whether it be foam or coils. It's really here to make sure that you just feel the support and the bounce from the coils without feeling the coils themselves. Because if you actually felt the coils kind of pressing up against you, that's not all that comfortable, and that's what this layer is here to do. And then you have the primary comfort layer of the Nectar Hybrid, which is a pretty thick layer of gel memory foam. From what we can tell, this layer of memory foam is the exact same that you find on the original Nectar. On the original Nectar, the construction is a little bit different. The layer of support foam is actually thinner than the layer of coils, and the transition layer is also thicker, but that one has more of a memory foam quality than the one you find in the Nectar Hybrid. And either way, you do wind up with more of a classic dense memory foam feel on both versions of Nectar. And we didn't find that to be true with the Nectar Premier Hybrid and the Nectar Premier Copper Hybrid. So you actually get more of a true memory foam feel on the Nectar Hybrid. So you're gonna lay down on this bed and it's gonna feel pretty firm at first, and then the foams are gonna start to kind of warm up underneath you, then they'll soften up and you'll sink into it, and it'll really conform to your body's shape. This is definitely the classic memory foam feel that most people associate with this type of material. Some sleepers out there really like this feel because you kind of feel cradled by the mattress, and it can kind of deter you from tossing and turning because that top layer of foam is very slow to snap back into its original shape. So this bed isn't going to be ideal for combination sleepers who like to rotate from their back to their side, for example. But if you like to get in one sleeping position and stay there the entire night, then a memory foam bed like this is a pretty solid option. There's a good chance you might already know if you prefer a memory foam feel in your mattress, but if you don't and you're interested, you do have an entire year to try it out, so that is a pretty nice bonus. Let's move over to the subject of firmness now. And in our testing, we found the Nectar Hybrid to be pretty much identical to the Nectar Original, which is around a medium firm on our firmness scale. This means that it's going to be more ideal for back, stomach, and certain combination sleepers. In general, if you favor your side when you sleep, you're looking for a mattress with a bit softer of a profile because you wind up putting a lot of pressure on your hips and your shoulders. If you've ever been camping before and you've slept on like a thin sleeping pad or not a super thick air mattress, there's a good chance you've woken up in the middle of the night with your shoulder or your hip kind of throbbing, and then you go to your other side and then you sleep for a couple more hours and you wake up with the same issue. And sleeping on a bed that's too firm is a less extreme example of that. So if you are a primary side sleeper, I wouldn't really recommend the Nectar Hybrid for you. Maybe if you're heavier, because firmness is always fairly subjective based on your body weight. And if you're a heavier person like me, you generally feel beds to be a little bit softer. But even as someone who's heavy and is a primary side sleeper, this bed's not quite soft enough for me. You could check out the Nectar Premier Hybrid. That bed is noticeably softer, as is the Nectar Premier Copper. We'll try and link more info about those beds down below in the description. Let's move over to a few considerations for couples, namely edge support, motion isolation, and temperature regulation. If you're planning on sharing this mattress with a partner and you can agree on the firmness level and the feel profile, then you're gonna wanna know about these things. The edge support on the Nectar Hybrid is actually very good. The coils along the outer edge of the mattress are extra reinforced to really beef up that edge support, and I don't see having any issues with the roll-off sensation in the middle of the night if you are sharing this mattress with a partner and maybe they take up more space than you. The motion isolation is also quite good thanks to that top layer of memory foam and the fact that it uses pocketed coils. It's not going to be quite as good as the all foam version. Foam beds just do a better job at this. It's kind of the default. But I don't see anyone having any serious issues being woken up in the middle of the night if their partner tosses and turns. Now, when it comes to temperature regulation, Nectar on their website claims that this bed has a cooling cover. We really wouldn't put it in the active cooling category. However, we do think the cover is nice and breathable, and the fact that it uses coils will make the bed a bit more breathable than its all foam counterpart, because if you just think about it, with a steel coil that doesn't really have any surface area, you get a lot more airflow than dense support foam. So I think this bed will sleep pretty much temperature neutral. There are more cooling options available with the Nectar Premier and especially the Premier Copper. So if you want to check those out, and maybe we'll have our best cooling beds list down below in the description. But I don't see people having temperature concerns on the Nectar Hybrid. And then the last thing we need to talk about with the Nectar Hybrid is going to be pricing. Nectar has always been a very affordable brand. It's one of the reasons they're super popular. And the Nectar Hybrid isn't really much more expensive than the original version of Nectar. In general, if you're shopping for a mattress, hybrids are going to be a bit more expensive. But once you factor in discounts, the Nectar Hybrid's only $800, which is a very solid value in our opinion. Sometimes, depending on the time of year, that price will fluctuate. Sometimes around major holidays, they'll offer an even steeper discount, or they'll bundle in some stuff. In the past, you were pretty much guaranteed to get 2 free pillows with any Nectar mattress purchase. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore, unfortunately, but depending on the time of year, maybe they'll throw some extras in. So make sure you look in the description for the most up-to-date pricing and discounts on this mattress. And that leaves us with the question, who should consider getting the Nectar Hybrid for themselves? And I think that is someone who really wants a memory foam feel in their mattress. You are gonna be getting a true dense memory foam feel with the Nectar Hybrid, so you kind of have to like that. And you have to be okay with a bit of a firmer overall firmness profile. If that's you, this bed is pretty darn affordable, only about $800 after discounts, and it has the solid edge support, solid motion isolation, nice for couples if you can agree on those two first things. And there are more accommodating options in the Nectar lineup, like the Premier and the Premier Copper. Those are noticeably a little bit softer. But if you're okay with a firmer bed and you like memory foam, I could see this being a really solid option for a lot of sleepers out there. But that's just our opinion. What's yours? Let us know. Write us down in the comment section. And we have tons of stuff in the description to help you out with your mattress search, like I mentioned many times. So be sure to take a look down there. If you found this video helpful or interesting in any way, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out. But that's really going to do it for me. This is Owen, Seen at Home. I'll see you in the next one.